Well, hello, Rockhounds, Lapidary lovers. Mike here. Welcome back to my channel. Wife and I, we just got back from an epic month-long trip out west. Wyoming, Nebraska, South Dakota. Spent a month out there, did some fossil hunting. The fossil hunting videos are coming out on this channel. I hope you've been watching them. Check them out. They're interesting if you're all into fossil hunting. Did a lot of rock hounding too. Some of those videos are coming out. Visited a lot of rock shops. And so we had a lot of stuff to come back with us. The fossils we collected, most of which are in plaster jackets, so you're not going to get to see those. But also rocks we bought at rock shops and rocks we got out rock hounding in Nebraska, in Wyoming, wherever we could. Okay? And it's like Christmas here because I've got boxes to unpack. And I thought I'd give you a look at the stuff we picked up out west. And there's a fair amount of it, let me tell you. We're going to go through it, and I'll give you a quick look at everything we got from the different places we went. I think we'll start with this box since it's open. Alrighty, this first box contains a couple of different things. It contains this bag, which has a bunch of chalcedony in it that I collected from the areas where we were fossil hunting. Because out in the badlands, there's these cracks in the ground. They're actually little fault lines, and they fill in with this chalcedony. And there's a billion tons of it out there. I tried to collect pieces that were kind of interesting looking. I'll try tumbling some of these. In fact, first thing I did when I got back was I put a few pieces of this in my tumbler. It's in rough right now, and we'll see how it looks. But some of it has interesting colors and patterns in it. I don't know how well that's showing up. Maybe if I zoomed in a little bit and got a good focus. You know, it's not super colorful, but there are some pieces in here that have some colors and patterns in them. And even a few pieces have some fortification banding. So we'll see how it tumbles. I got a couple big pieces in here that I'm probably going to need to cut. So, okay, that's the first stuff we brought back. Now the rest of this box contains stuff we picked up at the Rock Solid Rock Shop in Riverton, Wyoming. That is just down the road from our ranch in Wyoming. And we always have to check in there every time we go out to our place in Wyoming. And they not only cater to rockhounds and lapidary people, but also there's a lot of gold mining, gold refining stuff in there. I got a couple of fire assay crucibles from them fairly cheap. So got that. But also, I didn't buy that much from them this time. I've got a few things here, but not that much. But I've got something they're calling flame agate, which is just absolutely gorgeous. I'll try to give you a close-up look at this, get it wet, and give you a close-up look at this. It is an amazing piece of rock, and I think I can get a lot of slabs out of it, probably some really pretty cabs. This is, I don't know what kind of agate this is. They just call it flame agate. So it's really pretty. I paid 28 bucks for it, but I think it's worth it. I think I'm going to have 28 bucks worth of fun, if not a whole lot more, playing with this rock. I got a couple of nice slabs here. And again, I'll give you a close-up look at these. I'll wet them down. And you can see this one here's got a lot of transparency to it. See the light coming through. So it's got a lot of transparent chalcedony and a lot of red looking jasper in it. This one's just got some interesting patterns. I think I can get good cabs out of both of these. This one was 14, this one was 4, but I think they're worth it. And then I got a big bag full of what they're calling prairie tanzanite and purple sage mix for tumbling. Well, you know I like to tumble, so we'll try tumbling this stuff. But you know what? I think first what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to heat treat this stuff in my kiln. Because I was talking to the proprietor, and you never know, just how much of what they're saying is accurate or how much to believe. I mean, they're very knowledgeable about rocks. We've been to Tanzania, okay, and they say that it is the only source on Earth for tanzanite, which is hard to believe. I mean, minerals, they're going to occur all over the place. The guy at the Rock Solid shop says that, oh yeah, we supply Tanzania with most of their tanzanite. They just cook it to make it bluer. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to cook this stuff and see what happens to it. So watch for that in a future video, and we'll see if this stuff really turns the deep blue of Tanzanian tanzanite, and we'll see what happens with the purple sage in here too. So that should be an interesting little thing to do. So watch for that video. The flame agate must have some oil or something on it because the water doesn't want to stick to it, but you can see pretty deep into it. It's got some translucent or transparent chalcedony along with these veins of red stuff, and up here there's a vein of white stuff. I think this is going to be a really pretty rock. Now these over here, these will wet, and you can see the nice patterns in them. Oh yeah, that one is just absolutely gorgeous when it's wet. That's what it's going to look like when it's polished. So I think that's going to make some beautiful cabs. This one, I can probably get a couple of nice looking cabs out of it too. $4, it's worth it. Okay, so that's the stuff from Rock Solid in Riverton, Wyoming. Let me put it all back in the box and grab another box and start pulling stuff out. Okay, so this box has stuff in it from at least 3 different rock shops we visited. I'll try to pull them out in the order that we visited them. There's a video I've got out of our trip up into South Dakota where we spent the whole day at rock shops and fossil shops and museums. I'll put a link to that in the upper right, and then you can check that out too, and you can see where this stuff came from. So first, ooh, wow, that's heavy. First is the stuff we got at Dave's Rock Shop in Hill City, South Dakota. Got a big piece of, well, I'm calling it jasper agate, but it's got some really interesting patterns. It's mostly red and purple inside. I would say mostly jasper, maybe some slightly translucent purple chalcedony, but it's got some interesting little eyes on it. So, I mean, I got this out of their $1 a pound bin, and this is not very heavy. I'll give you a close-up look at these rocks, too, so you can see why I picked them. What else have we got in here? Another piece of intensely red jasper from Dave's. Just super intensely red. I don't know how well that's showing up. Some of the reddest jasper I think I've ever seen. So I'm just going to tumble that. Again, out of their $1 a pound bin. I mean, it's an ounce or two. Cost me next to nothing. Why not? Let's see. I got some Montana moss agate here. I've been wanting to play with some of that stuff, so I picked up a couple of them at Dave's. Here's one that's broken, and I can see that it's got some good stuff on the inside. I can see the moss, hence the name, Montana moss agate. So, okay. Got that. Here's a little Teepee Canyon agate nodule. I've had some good luck just like tumbling half nodules. They turn out really interesting. The outer rind of the nodule smooths out really well, and sometimes turns interesting colors, and the tumbling action tends to expose even more of the agate. So I'm going to just throw that in the tumbler with the rough stuff and see how it turns out. I've got a big, oh, this one's heavy, a big chunk of some kind of agate here. I don't know exactly what it is, but I can see agates all through here. There's all kinds of botryoidal stuff on here. We zoom in a little more. I mean, I really don't know until I get into it what it is. We've got agates all over this side here. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure it's Teepee Canyon. There's a lot of Teepee Canyon at Dave's. At the next shop just down the road, there's a lot of Teepee Canyon. But I don't know. The color doesn't quite look like it, so I don't know what it is. But this is a big honking chunk. Weighs 4 or 5 pounds, but hey, $1 or $2 a pound, who cares? And I know I can slice and dice this and get a lot of good stuff out of it. I think, slicing this side, I'm going to expose a lot of the agate goodness, probably some fortification bands. This side, who knows? You know, cut this knob off and see what it looks like. So, you know, at the price I paid for it, it is worth it. Just for the fun I'm going to have with it. Let's see what else we got in here. So here's definitely some TP Canyon, part of a TP Canyon agate nodule. There you can see the agate in there, intensely red. I'm hoping if I slice and dice this up, we'll see some fortification banding in there. So, you know, it's speculative, but, you know, at the price, I can't turn it down. You know, for $1 a pound, I will take the chance. Here's another piece of TP Canyon right here. Yeah, this has definitely got some fortifications in it. It's got some little quartz-filled bugs in it. So if I can mount this in my saw, I think I can get some nice slices off of it that can be cabbed. And then my wife threw a couple of rocks in the basket too. She wanted them for a rock garden in Wyoming, but they accidentally got brought home instead of going to Wyoming. So I believe this is Lysite agate. So I think that's what that is. It's all botryoidal up here and kind of seamy. I mean, it looks like Lysite to me. I mean, leave a comment if you think it's something else, but it sure looks like Lysite agate to me. In fact, we went hunting Lysite agate, and there'll be a video on that coming out too. If it's out already, I'll put a link in the upper right, but I don't know what order these videos are coming out, so it may not. And then I'm pretty sure this is Lysite as well, but it's got a lot of quartz on this side. I don't know if those glittery quartz crystals are showing up on the camera, but it's got a lot of quartz up here. A little bit of a sea maggot down underneath the quartz, and then a lot of pink stuff. I mean, my wife picked these up just because they were pretty rocks. So she's got a pretty good eye. That is a nice piece of Lysite agate right there. Okay, so here's the eyes I was talking about on this piece of red jasper agate right here. I'm hoping those go inside. Maybe those are like the ends of tubes or something. We'll see once I start cutting it. Here's the big thing I got from Dave's. The big lump of agate. Look at all the botryoidal stuff going on this thing. All up through here. And, you know, it's just clearly on this side very agatey. So that'll be interesting to cut. My two pieces of Montana moss agate here. That one I can clearly see moss inside. I can't wait to start cutting it. Hopefully this one will be as good too. Here's my little agate nodule, TP Canyon agate nodule. I'm going to just throw that in the tumbler. Here's the two pieces of TP Canyon agate I picked up. You know, $1 a pound. Can't leave them. Then here's the two that my wife got. The one I'm pretty convinced is Lysite agate. And then this one here with all the quartz crystals on this side and the agate seams inside. And the pink whatever on this side. I guess that would be jasper or chert. So, alright, that's all the stuff we got from Dave's. Alright, next up is the stuff we got at Ken's. Ken's Rock Shop, also in Custer. Same town as Dave's. In fact, they're on the same highway, less than half a mile apart, just on opposite sides of the road. We go to one, we generally go to the other. Let's start out with some blue tiger eye, which I have never done anything with blue tiger eye, so I'm kind of looking forward to this. I want to try cutting and polishing some of that and see how it turns out. Looks like it's going to be absolutely stunning. What else we got in here? Well, got some more TP Canyon. I mean, why not? It's there. You know, some TP Canyon agate nodule pieces. Some of them are really, really nice. And they're dirt cheap out there. So, yeah. Just absolutely gorgeous. And again, I'll give you a close-up look at all these rocks, but some of them are quite gorgeous, and for the price, I couldn't pass them up. So here we are, more TP Canyon. And then I got some more Montana moss agate. So going to be doing a lot of slicing and dicing on the Montana moss agates, and with any luck at all, they're going to be really pretty on the inside. Someday the wife and I have got to get up and hunt the Yellowstone ourselves and get some of these. I mean, our Wyoming place isn't that far away, so let's make a weekend of it and head up there and rockhound along the Yellowstone and see if we can get some of these of our own. But until then, I've got to depend on rock shops to get them. But yeah, so I'm pretty happy with the stuff I got at Ken's. I think I'm pretty well provisioned now with Montana moss agates and TP Canyon agates. So yeah, and I can't wait to cut into this blue tiger eye. The chatoyancy on that, I can never say that word, is just amazing with the blue color in it. And it's rough. Wait till it's polished. It's going to knock your socks off. Okay, let me give you a close-up look at these rocks. Yeah, so here's the Montana moss agates. This one's kind of broken on the edge, and I can see moss in there. Yay! All right, so I know that one's going to be good. TP Canyon agate. Look at the banding in that. Is that nice or what? Got these little slices of agate nodule down here. Let's see what I can do with these. And here's the blue tiger eye. I'm loving that, and it's not even polished yet. All right, so that's all the stuff we got at Ken's. All right, next up is stuff I got at the Prairie Agate Rock Shop in Crawford, Nebraska. One of my favorite rock shops. Their selection of stuff is amazing, and I've got a lot of stuff there. I actually went there twice. A couple of rainy days, couldn't go fossil hunting out in the field, so stopped off at the rock shop. So first one here. Not sure what kind of agate it is. I think I forgot to ask the lady to check out what it is, but I'll tell you what, it is just super, super pretty, amazing. That is going to make some nice slabs and cabs. And again, I'll give you a close-up looks at all these. Is it brachiolated jasper, I think they called this stuff? Very cool. Never seen it before. It's got fortification banding in it as well as a lot of eyes. So that is a very cool piece of jasper. Didn't cost me much. I got a couple pieces of lapis lazuli here. Rough stuff. It's got kind of a rind on it, which this one doesn't look very blue because of the rind. This one's a much more intense blue, doesn't have a rind on it. And I want to practice with this stuff. Maybe I'll practice cutting some slabs and trying to cab this stuff. And then once I get reasonably good at it, I will go after this stuff here, which is much more intensely blue, even than the parts of this that don't have a rind. Much like at Rock Solid, I found a piece of agate here. Not sure what it is. The price tag had faded out there in their yard. It was outdoors. So we kind of haggled on the price. I got it cheap, but it is really pretty piece. And I think, again, this is going to make some nice slabs and cabs. They had some Montana moss agates there, too. So I'm like, well, it's not like I can get them in my backyard, so I picked up some there. This one's much lighter in color than your typical Montana moss agate. It's got I can see lots of banding, though. This one, typical darker colored Montana moss agate. I can see moss in it. I don't know, maybe this one got thrown in the Montana agate bucket and it's something else, but I think it's going to be really pretty when I cut it. So, got those. A piece of, not sure what it is, but it's got really strong fortifications in it. Really pretty. Got, again, some TP Canyon. I mean, it's all over. Every rock shop out there has TP Canyon. So, I wound up buying some just about every rock shop we go to. This one, I really like the pattern in there. I think that's going to be interesting. I can face this off and get a few slabs out of it. That is going to be cool. And we got just agate popping out everywhere. We got spots here. We got some more agate popping out. If I cut this knob off, I think it's going to be interesting. We got agate over here. So just pretty much agate everywhere on that. Again, some more Keepy Canyon got nice banding, fortification banding in here. And of course it's popping out over here. Yep, so see what I can do with these rocks. Again, an agate, I'm not sure exactly what it is. If you have an opinion, I'll give you a close-up look at these, but if you have an opinion, leave a comment. Thought Brazilian at first, but I'm not so sure. Not really the pattern for Brazilian, I don't think, and it's got a lot of water line in it. That's interesting, and there's a lot of meat on this rock. I can get a lot of slabs off of that, and a few cabs, so that's good. I've got some slabs. Speaking of slabs, Prairie Agate Rock Shop always has a lot of pre-cut slabs, so I always come home with some of their pre-cut slabs. These are really good. These are really good-looking pieces of rock here, especially when they're wet. Oh my goodness! Look at that. That mossy, plumy goodness in there. Oh yeah. That's just amazing. I could just stare at that. That is so busy and so pretty. So much going on in there. Here's another piece of the same general stuff. You know, and these slabs are pretty cheap. They don't gouge you on them. You know, I'm a repeat customer, and I always buy a lot when I go there. So I got a pretty good price on this stuff. Here's another piece of agate. That's really pretty. I like that. And then this one here, wow. I mean, the patterns in this are just something else. I mean, just amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love it. And, you know, I got them pretty cheap. Here's a piece of, believe it or not, it looks like more Lysite agate. I guess it could be something else, but they did have buckets of Lysite agate out there. So I might have pulled this out of a bucket of Lysite agate. For perfectly honest, I don't remember picking this up, but hey, it's in the stuff from the Prairie Agate Rock Shop, so I must have bought it. So, bought it before we went out hunting for our own Lysite agate, which we found some of. So, but that's a nice piece. I can cut that up and maybe get some cabs out of it. I can tumble some of it, and we'll have some nice, pretty rocks. What else is in here? One more piece. Again, another. I'm not sure what kind of agate it is, but it's very similar. This first one I showed you, not quite as many red dendrites in it, but a lot of transparent chalcedony. And again, I think I can make some slabs and cabs out of that. Yeah, so here's a close-up of the stuff I got at the Prairie Agate Rock Shop. Here's these slabs, these incredibly busy slabs. Really pretty. The colors are just amazing. I know we got some bad reflections here, but the colors are just amazing in these things. Ditto this one, really intense. I'm liking that. This has got, you know, nice fortifications in it. Here's this really colorful agate with all the red dendrites in it and so much translucent chalcedony. That's going to be pretty. And here's a smaller one similar to that I got. Lysite agate over here. Mystery agate with lots of water line in it over here. I think it was called baculated jasper up here. This other agate with lots of fortifications in it. Got the two Montana moss agates. I'm on the fence about whether this is really a Montana moss agate or not. I don't know. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. The colors don't seem right, but you know what? I am not a great expert with them. This unknown agate over here with its super pretty patterns in it. And then, of course, we got the lapis lazuli. So that's all the stuff I got at the Prairie Agate Rock Shop. And the lady gave me a really good deal. We haggled on a couple of these pieces, and she gave me a good bundle deal on the whole thing. So I'm happy. If you're in Crawford, Nebraska, check out the Prairie Agate Rock Shop. I don't think you'll be disappointed. All right, next up I'm going to show you some more rocks that I collected myself from various places out west. We'll start with this bag. Now these rocks, well, may or may not have come from the parking lot islands of a store in Wyoming, okay? So, yeah, people get so mad at me when I do that, but then I get hundreds of other people admitting in the comments of my videos that they do it too. So they had some really good gravel at this place in Wyoming. A lot of banded iron, banded iron, banded iron, banded iron. Mostly banded iron here. Good size for tumbling. And I think, you know, they're already well river rounded, river tumbled and rounded. So I think they will tumble pretty quickly for the most part and come out looking gorgeous. And a couple of pieces of jasper too. Fairly colorful jasper. So I think that was a pretty successful trip to the store. Got what we needed and got some rocks too. And I'm going to start carrying a bucket of gravel with me from our driveway. So if I have to liberate a few rocks from somebody's driveway just because they're too pretty to be just in the driveway or in the parking lot, I'll throw a few in to compensate so that they don't lose any rocks, you know, net. Okay, what's next? So next, I've got a bunch of rocks and some quartz pebbles that I collected rock hounding in the prairie of Nebraska. And I'll explain what I've got here and why I collected some of it. Some of it is really, really pretty. I was hoping for Fairburns, and there's clearly some agate here. This is agate. This is agate. This has got agate in it. There's a fair number of agates mixed in here. I'm going to have to cut some of them. They might be Fairburn on the inside. Don't know, but they are agates. A lot of them are good size for tumbling. Here's one that I'm going to have to cut or break up because it's a nodule. It's got agate poking out here. It's got agate poking out here. It's got agate poking out here. Agate poking out here. But yeah, I don't know exactly what kind of agate it is for what little I can see. Got a lot of jasper too. Here's a big chunk of multicolored jasper. Actually, this is probably more like jasper agate. It's got some translucent chalcedony in it as well as jasper. Same with this. Again, fairly colorful jasper, but also with some transparent chalcedony in it. Some of these bigger ones, here's another one. This one might be more agate-y. Yeah, this is more agate-y than jasper-y. I don't know if the fortification bands are showing up in that, but they're there. So, yeah, that might be borderline Fairburn there. Some of the bigger pieces here, like this one and this one, probably this one, I'm going to cut this one. Got some other stuff here. I'm not quite sure what it is. It kind of looks like jasper, but the texture's not quite right. Got some other stuff. Might be amygdaloidal basalt. Somewhere in here. Here's one. Got some carnelian agates. I know there's at least one more in here somewhere. Don't see it off the top of my head at the moment. But I had two carnelian agates. And, oh, here, the big one right here. Yeah, nice and transparent yellow. So that was a fairly successful rock hounding trip in the prairie of Nebraska. It's got some pretty rocks. Got something here that's all botryoidal and tubey. And then I also picked up some quartz pebbles. There were a billion of them out there. I could have filled a truck with them. I'm just going to use these as tumbling media for softer rocks. I think this will work good as tumbling media for softer rocks. And who knows, some of them may tumble up really pretty too in the process. So I'll put a link to that prairie rock hounding expedition in Nebraska. It was pretty successful. We had an unexpected rattlesnake encounter during that rock hounding trip. So that always ups the drama factor when you're out rock hounding, when you run across rattlesnakes. Okay, so let me put this away and we'll see what I got next. Okay, last but certainly not least, is a bunch of stuff my wife and I got. We went out to the base of Lysite Mountain and went rock hounding out on some public land, looking for Lysite agate, and we found some. Yes, we've got some good Lysite agate here. Here's some nice Lysite agate, Lysite agate, Lysite. Most of this is Lysite agate. It almost all has some chalcedony in it. Some of it's not very pretty. It's not top shelf Lysite agate, but we're not up at the place where they're mining this stuff. That's under claim. Various people lease that claim to mine it over the years. But we're just picking up float down on public land below the mountain. And I think we did pretty good just picking up float. We got some really colorful stuff here. Some of these bigger pieces I'm going to cut. I can't wait to see what's on the inside of them. There's a lot of transparent, translucent chalcedony in them of various colors. I can see way down into this one. This is going to be interesting to cut. And then we've got a lot of seams of agate in some of these rocks. So this one has like some ruby red color to it too. So that's going to be interesting to cut that and expose the internal seams of agate. As well as agate, got some jaspers and some other stuff here, petrified wood, things like that we found. Just like 3.5 hours rock hounding around the base of Lysite Mountain. And it was a grand old time. I'll put a link to that video in the upper right. You can check it out if you like. We've been there before, and I think we'll go back again in the future because this was a very successful rock hounding trip for us. And we came back with a lot. My wife got a lot too. Most of that wound up in our rock garden at our place in Wyoming. This is the stuff I brought home because a lot of this stuff I think can be tumbled, cut. Might even get some nice slabs and cabs out of some of it. So, a pretty little piece for tumbling. So that's my plans for this stuff. That's why I brought it home rather than leaving it in the rock garden in Wyoming. I'm going to be working with this stuff over the next few months or, well, frankly, years. We came home with tonnage of rocks on this trip, as we always do. So it's going to take me a while to process them all. Anyway, so subscribe to see my future videos where you'll see these rocks and all the other rocks I've showed you today will appear in those future videos at some point. And if you found this video at all interesting, educational, informative, inspirational, whatever, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, get out there and collect some rocks. It's fun. It's good exercise. And they're free when you just pick it up off the ground. All right. So I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching this one. Bye.